We drove over to the Desert Inn to catch the Debbie Reynolds Harry James show. I don't know about you, I told my attorney, but in my line of business, it's important to be hep. Mine too, he said, but as your attorney, I advise you to drive over to the Tropicana and pick up on Guy Lombardo. He's in the Blue Room with his Royal Canadians. Why, I asked. Why what? Why should I pay out my hard-earned dollars to watch a fucking corpse? Look, he said, why are we out here? To entertain ourselves or to do the job? The job, of course, I replied. We were driving around in circles, weaving through the parking lot of a place I thought was the Dunes, but it turned out to be the Thunderbird. Or maybe it was the Hacienda. My attorney was scanning the Vegas visitor, looking for hints of action. How about Nickel Nick Slot Arcade, he said. Hot slots? That sounds heavy. 29-cent hot dogs? Suddenly people were screaming at us. We were in trouble. Two thugs wearing red gold military overcoats were looming over the hood. What the hell are you doing? One screamed. You can't park here. Why not? I said. It seemed like a reasonable place to park. Plenty of space. I've been looking for a parking spot for what seemed like a very long time. Too long. I was about ready to abandon the car and call a taxi. But then, yes, we found this space, which turned out to be the sidewalk in front of the main entrance to the Desert Inn. I had run over so many curbs by this time that I hadn't even noticed this last one. But now we found ourselves in a position that was hard to explain. Blocking the entrance, thugs yelling at us, bad confusion. My attorney was out of the car in a flash, waving a $5 bill. We want this car parked. I'm an old friend of Debbie's. I used to romp with her. For a moment, I thought he had blown it. Then one of the doormen reached out for the bill, saying, Okay, I'll take care of it, sir. And he tore off a parking stub. Holy shit, I said as we hurried through the lobby. They almost had us there. That was quick thinking. What do you expect? He said. I'm your attorney, and you owe me $5. I want it now. I shrugged and gave him a bill. This garish, deep Orlon carpeted lobby of the Desert Inn seemed an inappropriate place to be haggling about nickel-dime bribes for the parking lot attendant. This was Bob Hope's turf, Frank Sinatra's, Spiro Agnew's. The lobby fairly reeked of high-grade formica and plastic palm trees. It was clearly a high-class refuge for big spenders. We approached the grand ballroom full of confidence, but they refused to let us in. We were too late, said a man in a wine-colored tuxedo. The house was already full. No seats left at any price. Fuck seats, said my attorney. We're old friends of Debbie's. We drove all the way from L.A. for this show, and we're goddamn well going in. The tux man began jabbering about fire regulations, but my attorney refused to listen. Finally, after a lot of bad noise, he let us in for nothing, provided we would stand quietly in back and not smoke. We promised, but the moment we got inside, we lost control. The tension had been too great. Debbie Reynolds was yucking across the stage in a silver afro wig to the tune of Sergeant Pepper from the golden trumpet of Harry James. Jesus, creeping shit, said my attorney. We've wandered into a time capsule. Heavy hands grabbed our shoulders. I jammed the hash pipe back in my pocket just in time. We were dragged across the lobby and held against the front door by goons until our car was fetched up. Okay, get lost, said the wine tux man. We're giving you a break. If Debbie has friends like you guys, she's in worse trouble than I thought. We'll see about this, my attorney shouted as we drove away. You paranoid scum. I drove around to the Circus Casino and parked near the back door. This is the place, I said. They'll never fuck with us here. Where's the ether, said my attorney. This mescaline isn't working. I gave him the key to the trunk while I lit up the hash pipe. He came back with the ether bottle, uncapped it, poured some into a Kleenex and mashed it under his nose, breathing heavily. I soaked another Kleenex and fouled my own nose. The smell was overwhelming, even with the top down. Soon we were staggering up the stairs towards the entrance, laughing stupidly, dragging each other along like drunks. This is the main advantage of ether. It makes you behave like the village drunkard in some early Irish novel. Total loss of all basic motor skills. Blurred vision, no balance, numb tongue, severance of all connection between the body and brain. Which is interesting because the brain continues to function more or less normally. You can actually watch yourself behaving in this terrible way, but you can't control it. You approach the turnstiles leading into the circus, and you know that when you get there, you have to give the man $2 or he won't let you inside. But when you get there, everything goes wrong. You misjudge the distance to the turnstile, slam against it, bounce off and grab hold of an old woman to keep from falling. Some angry Rotarian shoves you and you think, what's happening here? What's going on? Then you hear yourself mumbling, dogs fuck the Pope, no fault of mine, watch out, why money? My name's Brinks, I was born, get sheep overside, women and children, armored car, orders from Captain Zeep. Ah, devil ether, a total body drug. The mind recoils in horror, unable to communicate with the spinal column. The hand flaps crazily, unable to get money out of the pocket. Garbled laughter and hissing from the mouth, always smiling. Ether is the perfect drug for Las Vegas. In this town, they love a drunk. Fresh meat, so they put us through the turnstiles, turned us loose inside. The torch.